My name is Maddie Moyers, and this is my capstone project. So on deciding what to do, I had absolutely no idea. I had no motivation for anything. Nothing really came to me, but I did know what I wanted my capstone to kind of be around. And I know I wanted to do something active. I really don't like just kind of sitting around and not really doing anything. I wanted to be very hands-on in what I did. I wanted to go places. I also really wanted to interact with other people. I really feel like that's part of my calling, is to kind of help others in a way and not just kind of do something more solo on my end. So through the process of my capstone, I wanted to make sure I was helping others as I was learning new things too. And that kind of goes with learning something new out of it. I really wanted to kind of be changed through my capstone and really hope it had a really positive impact and kind of live a new way of life through it. And I also wanted it to involve sports or health in some way. I'm very big into sports, and I'm very into health. Just learning new things about health and how the body works just has always amazed me. So I really wanted to try and find a capstone that had majority, or if not all, of those qualities. I did have fears and concerns when going into my capstone. Availability and time management was really, really hard to deal with. I was captain of the soccer team, so I had to spend a lot of my time there, making sure I was at all the practices, watching out for the rest of the team, going to all the games, the scrimmages, summer camps. So that was really, really hard, and to kind of manage and kind of work around that, because I had two really major priorities that I had to deal with at the same time. And another part that I was concerned about was I would end up not liking it. I was really, really worried about that, because I can be extremely indecisive sometimes, and sometimes I'll go in and I'll just want to back out right away. So I was really hoping that I could have that commitment and full passion for my capstone throughout the whole thing. So I found Vive Alchemy through Deanne Bauer. She is one of my friend's moms. She was a personal trainer for about 18 years, and after she played basketball at Vanderbilt, and so she's always been into health and fitness, and Vive is her own health and fitness kind of company, and she does things based on basic design, and she really brings how you are designed by God into it a lot. And so her main thing that she wants to share to other people is the healthy way that God has designed you to be, based on alignment and other things like that I'll continue with further in the presentation. So I actually was having a lot of back problems, and I was just over at Katie's house just talking to Katie about it, and her mom overheard and was like, "You should come and do one of my workouts. You're probably just not walking correctly." And I kind of thought that was kind of weird at first, and so, but I went and I tried it, and I really, really liked it. And she was like, "Well, I need help kind of spreading the word out and getting people more aware of this." And so that's just kind of where that started. So my expectations at first were, I really wanted to involve a lot of people with the project. Because that was kind of her expectation with it as well, is starting to share it and just kind of get the word out. So I really wanted to make sure that I got that down and that I exposed a lot of new people to it. I also really felt called to bring CAK into the project, whether it was one of the sports team or just a group of girls or close friends. I just really wanted to impact the school in some way, and I really felt like I could somehow do that with Vive. So there were two parts to the project. So the first part was starting to get the word out and me kind of shadowing under Deanne. So we did a lot of videos and a lot of live streams on Instagram. Social media was kind of the big thing that we really reached out on. She had her own Instagram account. I had to advertise on my Instagram account, and that's kind of how we started getting the ball rolling with the project. We also, during this part, kind of brainstormed of how can we get my expectations and her expectations for this together. And we came up with the idea of doing a free 30-day workout challenge for girls my age, because she was feeling called by the Lord to reach out to girls going into college. She said she felt like recently a lot of friends whose daughters have been struggling with eating disorders or self-image, she said she really wanted to use her company as a way to kind of influence those girls, to show them how they're beautifully created. So the second part of the project was getting the word out and starting the 30-day challenge. And so part of it was also workouts, which were extremely simple, basic workouts that focused on your alignment. And with her workouts, she said the hardest thing you'll have to do is walk. And so what her workouts did really crack down to the basic of making sure your feet were standing straight, your shoulders were back properly and not too far back, make sure you were breathing correctly, and making sure like you're breathing enough and getting enough water and making sure you were walking with the proper strides. So that was the first part, and I helped teach girls those workouts too, whether it would be like for soccer practices, for warm-ups, I would kind of bring them there, and then if they wanted to learn more, they would come to her workout places. The other part was eating plant-based for 30 days, and that was the one thing that kind of started like making people want to take a step back from this, is they hear vegan and they like shrivel up. So she also wrote a book to kind of help, and the workbook helped them kind of go through like what you can eat and what you can substitute. Instead of like eating meat and a bunch of like carby stuff, you can go to like potatoes and lentils and stuff like that. So she also had this one board, and when we first went, we had the lesson, and she kind of introduced and told her story about why, like how Vive came to her. And so her main 5 things with Vive is to breathe, listen, ask, look, and move. And each part had to deal with a different part of like your body and how you were designed. So breathing is part of the spirit, and she really focused on meditation on this too. She really encouraged us to like spend time to just kind of relax. She felt like at this time of our lives, we can be really stressed with going into college and everything. So she wanted to really like focus on that. Listening to make sure you're hearing your body right, whether it's a food craving or something's hurting, how you can like learn to work your way around that and try and like heal yourself instead of going to someone else for it. Asking was more like with your mind, if you had more questions, which kind of connected with listening in a way. Just kind of asking yourself and asking her questions, because she said some people were afraid to ask her questions because through her personal training process, when she was a trainer, people would be afraid to ask her because it would be intimidating, because, you know, she's the trainer, she's kind of the authority in charge over you. One reason was looking, to make sure you looked at yourself, made sure your posture was right, and also looking at yourself like in a positive way, never negative. She said there was never ever competition in Vive. And also moving, and she connected relationships with moving as going out, being active, and sharing love with others. So she really incorporated a personal, spiritual way of Vive with others. And so what I would do is I would work with her in our small group. We'd call it small group, and we would do workouts. We would talk. I would talk to the girls after, ask how they felt, and then I would go back to Deanna and be like, hey, the girls really liked this workout, or we're really struggling with when we should eat this, like what we should eat at lunch and stuff like that. And so it just kind of was like a big message thing. So the outcome of all of this, Deanna's still doing sessions at Vive, and she also still includes free workouts. The 30-day challenge was just the whole month of January, kind of like a New Year's resolution. But due to sports, I am limited to attending the Vive and still kind of shadowing her. I still like connect with her, and she'll have some ideas and talk to me, and I'll talk to the girls about it and like try and reach out to them and kind of keep it going and telling them like she's hosting things. But I also plan to pursue Vive in the summer when I'm done with sports in school and I have more availability. I'm planning to go back and try to maybe reach out to a different group and do the 30-day challenge again. I'm also attending college at UTK, so I'll be really close to where she works. So I'm planning to still follow this into college. And I'm also going to major in psychology, so we're going to try and like bridge those two together. And that's it.